This is part 2 about how to build trust with a dog. Please check my previous video titled How Dogs Build Trust with Each Other from August 28th, 2025 for the first portion of this video. In my previous video, I talked about how dogs build trust with each other. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use dog-to-dog trust building as a human to emulate what they do and enhance the trust with your dog. This video kind of only is the tip of the iceberg, so if you want to know more, please go to my website, hearttoheartcanine.com or fearfuldogtraining.com. I'm going to do just a quick review. Trust is a foundational need in the hierarchy of needs for both humans and dogs. To skip over trust and go right to enrichment or other activities is to not build a solid foundation with the dog you're working with. This is especially important for fearful and feral dogs. I've developed a system I call Nose-Centric that helps me emulate a dog's behavior in a human way to help build trust with that dog. Dogs do not give each other food to build trust. So how do they do it? They let each other know they are a source of safety and they're there to protect the group, and they provide stability, and they also mirror each other's behaviors, and they are very attuned to each other's behaviors. A lot of this which humans have trouble with. You may have heard the term packing up, and I believe this term comes from watching dogs alert to something that is concerning to them. All the dogs in the group get up and go check it out. But before we get into that, let's cover a little bit of how you can make sure a dog knows you are not a threat to it. I have tons of videos covering how to approach a dog in a non-threatening way, but a very quick review is do not look at the dog, do not approach the dog straight on, do not corner the dog, and do not put a lot of psychological pressure on the dog or yourself. Safety and protection to a dog means that we got their back. We are going to be an active participant in their safety. This includes approaching the dog in a non-threatening manner, being a pro-social pack, being aware of your environment, and also acknowledging things in the environment that concern your dog through mirroring and empathy. Notice in this photo, all my dogs are relaxing but facing other directions, looking out for each other's safety. Part of acknowledgement, according to a dog, is mirroring the dog's behavior, and that means sniffing and inhaling through your nose. It is the dog's main way of navigating the world. This isn't done by reactive and fearful dogs. They're usually using their eyes, a lot like my dog Tipton is in this photo, and this is when I first met him at the shelter. You can see how big Tipton's eyes are, and he's probably not utilizing his nose very much. And so therefore, he's more likely to be in the lower brain or more instinctual fight or flight brain. Sniffing and inhaling through the nose increases dopamine, improves mood, calms the vagus nervous system, and allows dogs to stay in their upper or thinking brain. It's also a bonding activity dogs do with each other that lets them get to know another dog without a lot of conflict. And it shows you are aware and participating with the dog in his environment. This may sound crazy to sniff a little bit with your dog, but I will promise you that it can achieve amazing results. In this video coming up, I'm going to show you how I put together nose-centric systems of empathy and protection and safety. Again, this video just covers a few items of what I find important. Even just doing these will help your dog, but to get a bigger sense of what I'm talking about, please visit my website, fearfuldogtraining.com. Number one of being able to protect your dog and keep them safe is being aware of the environment. And usually what I do in the morning to convey that I'm aware of my environment is just simply walk around the perimeter of my fence line. If you don't have a fence line, you can also walk around your yard or even around your apartment in the morning and just take an interest in looking out at what your dogs find concerning or interesting. This allows your dogs to see that you are involved in checking for danger. Here's another previously feral dog, And you can see he's looking out in the field we're sitting in. And I am also facing a different direction and looking out in the field and honestly just enjoying the scenery and being with him at the time. But I am aware of my environment and not on my phone or distracted. Here I'm hanging out with another feral dog in my yard, and it looks like we're not doing a whole lot, but I am looking around, and if a bird goes by or there's a noise, I do turn my head and just acknowledge that I'm aware of it as well. If I am not aware of the surroundings, there's no way I can take part in protecting this dog. And so for him to feel safe, I have to convey that I am aware of the environment to the dog, not to myself. Dogs convey their awareness of the environment by participating in looking around and hanging out with each other, and also coming to each other's aid if there is a noise and they start to alert on it. This is another dog, and we are at the park on a picnic table. And you can see here how much this dog is looking around to survey her environment. She's a little insecure and not necessarily that afraid. To let this dog know that I'm aware of the environment, I must also look around a little bit at things going on. In this next clip, I'm taking a previous hoarding dog into an outdoor restaurant. And here I'm allowing him to walk around the perimeter of the restaurant with me. And we're both checking and just seeing what's there. You don't have to do this in a way that you act afraid. It's just something that a dog would do entering a space to check for their safety. And they also like to sniff around and explore. So by me partaking in this with this dog, he can then relax at our table and enjoy our lunch together. Another place I like to engage in checking for safety with a dog is before entering an open space. So here we are at the end of my driveway and about to enter the much wider area of our street. And you can see this dog is sniffing around and hesitating a little bit just to check before progressing into the street area. So by me stopping, maybe making a little audible sniffing sound with the dog and looking around and then walking into the street, he now feels safer that I have also helped him check for safety. So here we're going to go from the overall concept of safety into how to mirror and acknowledge a dog when they're checking the environment. And a lot of this has to do with actually sniffing with the dog. Here's my dog Ryder, who is not afraid at all, but he's been hunting lizards around this wall. And you can see when I get up and go over and start checking for lizards with him, he gets very excited and enjoys this interaction with me, and enjoys hunting lizards even more. Now we can see how using nose-centric methods can help a fearful dog at a shelter. I was trying to call him over and I wasn't being successful. He was kind of hiding in the corner and not sure if he should come say hi to me. My friend Angela started sniffing the ground, being extremely brave at the dog shelter. And you can see right here that this brown dog started coming over to see what she was finding. I think there was a little treat on the ground. He actually got rewarded as well for engaging in sniffing with her. This is how quickly nose-centric can work. The dog immediately trusts you more and will come over to investigate you and what you're doing. Another great time to do some nose-centric methods with your dog to mirror and acknowledge them is when it snows. I can see the coyote tracks in the snow in the morning. And so I can actually point them out to my dogs, and they think I'm brilliant because I know exactly where the coyote went. They can find the coyote tracks pretty well, but sometimes they lose it due to the lack of scent or the scent wafting off in another direction. Here I am doing the same thing with a little Chihuahua and my dog Tipton. This is another dog from a hoarding case, and I'm just walking her around the office inside the shelter. And you can see this dog is very curious and investigating lots of things. So if I lead her to interesting things and also point them out and then engage with her a little bit while she's doing this, it will reward her for using her nose, and it will also help her recover from fear.
Puppy is concerned about the statue, as many dogs are. So we're gonna go, you can see our hackles are raising a little bit. So we're gonna go over to it Use a little nose-centric. Oh, good girl. Good job. Good job, girl. Good girl. Yeah. Yes, good job. Come here. We're going to walk around it. We're going to walk through. Good girl. Not worried anymore. Okay.
This fairly normal puppy sees a scary coyote statue and is very unsure, kind of woofing under her breath. So I'm going to use nose-centric methods, take her up to the statue along with my other dog, and sniff it and check it out. So I am leading by example here and encouraging her to go up and investigate the statue like a normal dog would. You can see here she starts wagging her tail and quickly gets over the fear of the statue. This is way better results than any other method would be, especially just ignoring what the dog finds scary. Here my foster dog was very concerned about my husband moving around with this ladder. And so my helper dog and also myself went over to the ladder and started investigating it and making little sniffing noises. Soon enough, the brown dog came over and started sniffing the ladder too, and then he wasn't afraid anymore.
So girlfriend here was scared when I opened the drawer, and probably the cabinet too. But then she walked away, and then I went and got her leash, and I'm going to try and encourage her to sniff stuff. What's in there?
This is a feral dog that has never been in a house before and was quite alarmed by a door opening into an empty space. So I encouraged her to come check it out with me so she wouldn't be afraid of cabinets and doors opening in the future. You can see here she quite enjoys this process, and this is building a lot of trust with me that I am encouraging her to use her nose, calm her vagus nervous system, and investigate things like a normal dog.
Good job, Dee Dee. Good girl.
Here's another example of another dog scared of another statue in my neighborhood. And I'm going to invite her over to check it out. And it's funny because the dogs always go and sniff the butt of this statue like they would greeting a dog. Statues like this can be really confusing to dogs because they look like a dog, but they don't smell or move. So I always encourage people to encourage their dogs to check out things in the way a dog would. And she feels better about this now. And next time we go for a walk, we won't necessarily have to check it out. Here's a feral dog, third time on leash, with a brand new handler. And you can see how he was alarmed by this weird blue porta potty sitting here. And the handler is allowing and encouraging the dog to investigate it like a dog would. And you can see how much this dog actually appreciates this. And here again, the handler is doing an excellent job of bending down and sniffing, and you can see the dog actually mirroring her. This is a completely feral dog, and this connection they just made will be very important to build trust in humans. Here is a tough little feral Chihuahua heeler mix. I'm trying to get her to use her nose by sniffing the wood pile, which is pretty popular with mice in the winter. And you can see here that she is a little resistant and a little afraid, but she does sniff. This effort right here to sniff on her part is huge progress for this dog. And here I am showing Toby, the brown feral dog, the wood pile as well. And you can see he's very happy that I'm joining with him. This is an extreme version of some nose-centric principles in helping your dog survive and mirroring and doing what they find interesting. These are my two dogs, and they have a mouse cornered in this wood pile. And since I've been trying to reduce the mouse population around my house, I try and get the mouse out for them. We've played this game many times, and usually they're successful in catching the mouse. So they are very insistent on catching it right now. They would tear apart the wood pile trying to get to it if I didn't help them. Here's the feral Chihuahua again, And I'm putting some cheese down in the house to try and get her to use her nose and sniff and find it. And also, I'm helping her find it by pointing it out to her. She quite likes cheese, so you have to use a high value item. And you don't always have to do this outside. You can actually put treats down for the dogs and help them find them as a joint activity. This is an example of how I incorporate nose-centric methods into a walk. You can see here I'm leading the dog to sniff the bush a little bit, and if she wants to sniff, I'm also participating in that with her. This is how dogs move through the world together. One dog will sniff and the other will come check it out. The second dog will sniff and the first dog will go check it out. So again, this is acknowledging and mirroring what the dog is wanting to do. And here, I believe this dog hears a noise and stops and looks, and I stop and look with her. This allows her to know that I see and acknowledge what's important to her. This is a beautiful example of a very fearful dog sniffing something the handler is pointing out. This is getting the dog to explore its environment as it would, and also finding interest in what the handler is pointing out, and therefore building trust between the dog and the handler. If you lead your dog to interesting and smelly things, the dog will think you're really cool. You'll earn bonus points. This also encourages a fearful or feral dog to be in your vicinity without a lot of pressure from you, and at the same time, learn that it's safe to be close to you. This is my dog Tipton, who used to be completely feral and free roaming. And a way that I bonded with Tipton was to help him catch mice. There's a mouse under here, and Tipton is quite intent on catching it, but he can't do it without our help because it went under the rock. I've been helping Tipton find mice by lifting up rocks or wherever the mouse is and pointing it out to him. This has made him increasingly trustworthy of me and also think of me as a very valuable member of his pack because I'm helping him find food and therefore helping him survive. I realize this may not be everyone's cup of tea, but for Tipton and I, it has added a lot to our relationship. I hope you've enjoyed some of the examples of how to engage with your dog and earn trust with them, and also have a deeper understanding of the nose-centric system that I've developed to help fearful and feral dogs. In summary, here are some points to think about. We need to be aware to show our dogs that we are aware. We need to let our dogs know that we see what concerns them. We also need to acknowledge what our dogs notice and what they are concerned about. And we need to mirror how our dogs explore the world so they can truly trust us to help them explore the world and improve from behavior and fear. I want to just add that this nose-centric system is not only for fearful or feral dogs, it does wonders in making a deeper connection with any dog in your care. Please like, subscribe, and share to support this great content. Thanks.